wait for Tony.
Let's wait for Tony. Get Tony in here. Look at Rick's finger.
Oh.
He got too excited for Challenge USA last night, in case you didn't see on our story.
Yeah.
He was trying to hurry up, cook dinner too fast, and he cut his finger.
4 stitches.
Boom.
Glad you can join us for the conversation.
Thank you. We're actually in the conversation right now. As I mentioned to Corrina, the conversation is where you go to have a conversation.
Yes,
oh, okay.
I like it.
It's a compound word. That makes more
It's
sense.
the conversation location, the conversation.
Exactly.
Okay,
there you go. I like it.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stoked to talk to Derek and Shannon. It was an interesting episode last night, and that elimination. Yeah, dude, Derek was so hyped, and then TJ pulled that fast one on him.
Dude, he tried taking off. Like, TJ's like, what are you doing? Like, he didn't even blow the horn yet. DX is like going.
He's fucking born ready.
Oh my gosh. It was a weird episode. Like, not weird in a bad way, but oh my gosh.
It was
that
tense.
episode was crazy.
Like,
it was really
from
tense.
beginning to end. I did not know who was going home, who was going in. I didn't know who was winning, who was losing. Like,
nope.
Sometimes when you look at the teams, you see the teams from the algorithm and you're just like, cool, that team's going to do super well.
Right.
But we're at a point now where like, cool, every team's going to do super well potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And I honestly was extremely surprised that DX and Shannon were the ones put in. I really thought they were going to go Leo Kayla for the Amazing Race.
I thought they'd go Leo Kayla, and I almost really, really thought that David might take that shot at Tyson, since he had a injured partner. Not injured, but she's obviously really sick.
Yeah.
And as much as she thinks she's hiding it from everybody, she's clearly not, because people know. I thought that could have been a possibility too, and that would have been a really interesting elimination. But we got DX and Shannon. I'm a little bit upset about it, because like I really like both of them.
I'm a bit upset about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about Shannon's original show. Obviously, like we've said it 1,000 times, like we don't really watch Love Island, but I really liked her on this show.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
The energy she would bring. Oh my God. The first daily twerking in the glass.
I will never forget that first daily where she's like, we're going down and we see ourselves in the mirror and we're like, we look the fuck good. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes, girl. I know exactly what you mean. I love that energy. Yes. So I'm so like sad that she's gone. I wanted more of her, and I feel like we didn't get enough like actual airtime of Shannon. And I wish that we had gotten more, because she was really like entertaining, you know? Yeah. And then DX, I feel like we were robbed on confessionals and strategy with DX, because he's a very strategic kind of person. And you got to see a lot of that in the Big Brother house, because like, you know, obviously it's way longer. There's way more episodes, and he was winning quite a bit, especially when it came to like veto competitions and stuff. So we saw a lot of his strategy and the way his mind just kind of clicks and works in Big Brother, but we didn't get that on the challenge. And it sucks, because so many people who are watching the Challenge USA right now didn't see these original shows like Tony, so you don't get that pleasure of knowing just how smart and strategical DX really is.
Well, we got some of it. We got it with him and Alyssa. We got it with him and Kayla.
Yeah, a little bit, but not where, I don't know. I mean, maybe he wasn't as strategical in the challenge, but I just feel like we kind of missed out on that side of him.
No.
I feel like they had favorites as far as the edit was concerned. Yeah. So anytime that he was being strategic or talking strategy or anything like that with Kayla, then it was shown, because they're really focusing on how strategic Kayla is, and rightly so. But I was really liking the dynamic between her and Derek, because it was really back and forth, where she would come in with one side of it, he would come in with the other, and together they were able to make something work really well.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. Like I kept waiting for it, because in all the preseason stuff and what little I know about his gameplay from you guys, I was really looking forward to seeing him play at that level. Yeah. And I feel like it's one of those things where we talk about it a lot with Survivor, where if you take the exact same crew and you run the season 100 times, you're going to get like arguably about 70 different outcomes. Yeah. The same with this. If you take the same 28 people, reshuffle the deck and play it again, it's going to be a different outcome, because I would love to see him and Tyson partner up as far as strategy goes.
Right.
I think you put those two together, they're at the final.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, and kind of going to that point, even just run that same elimination with those same exact people.
Yep.
And there may be a different outcome, because it was such a close finish. It wasn't like DX and Shannon, got their asses whooped in the elimination or anything like that. Like, it literally came down to like one tire. And the reason they didn't win was knocking over that last stack, and they didn't have time to restack it. So like, to me, it's like one of those things where it was just kind of a flip of the coin. And unfortunately, it didn't fall in DX and Shannon's favor this week. And, now we're going to talk to them about it a little bit, and kind of sucks, but I am excited to meet them, because they just seem like really cool people.
I was going to say, why don't we, it's about that time, why don't we hop in there with them and get some answers to some of these questions we have.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
So my name's Ricky Hayes. This is my wife, Corrina. And then we have Tony Lance, who helps us co-host the Challenge Fandom podcast. We want to thank you guys so much for hopping on. We're really excited to talk to you. We're not excited to talk to you guys this soon. But nonetheless, we're glad that you guys could join us. I do want to jump in the questions, but first I have to ask you, Derek, because I watch your stories. Is the cat currently in the apartment right now?
The cat is right behind me, being so cute. So she has this like brown paper bag. This is why we think that she is no one's cat and we can adopt her, is because really the smallest things give her so much happiness. We went Trader Joe shopping yesterday, and we just put one of the brown paper bags out, and this is her favorite toy now. And she's like sleeping in it.
Aww.
She like cuddled up inside of it. So I'm like,
oh my God.
I don't know if she's ever had a toy before, if a paper bag is giving her this much joy.
Oh, that's sweet.
You claim the cat. It's your cat now.
Yeah, it's your cat now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Did you guys do some homework before coming on the challenge, watching previous seasons?
I did not. I never even really watched the challenge because I thought I was supposed to be an alternate, which a lot of people don't know. So there was quite a few alternates. So I thought I was at the bottom of that list. So for me, I thought there was no chance that they would put me on the challenge. So not only did I not do my homework, not watch the challenge, I didn't watch Survivor or Big Brother or any of the other shows. Now I'm like, I need to watch your season, and catch up. But no, not only that, but I did not train. So just going to throw that out there.
Well, it's a learning lesson for next time, right?
Right.
I wish I could say I didn't train. This way, makes more sense going home this early. It's worse that I did train.
Oh.
So did you watch previous seasons before you went on, Derek?
Yeah, I watched a couple. I watched War of the Worlds, and then I think one of the All-Star seasons. I think I watched maybe 3 or 4 different seasons, and I was like, okay, I think I'm kind of getting a grasp of this game. But really, the thing that was giving me motivation is I go on YouTube and I would Google top 10 challenge elimination upsets. I was always a skinny guy against a big dude, and I'm like, I love this. This is the energy that I need going into it.
Fuck yeah, it's a motivation.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously you guys were paired together for this daily, and this daily was very convoluted, very crazy. And a lot of people struggled with it, but you guys actually seemed to do really well. Were you guys comfortable doing this daily, or was there any part of it that had you kind of freaking out?
I was kind of freaking out. For me, I felt like it was the highest thing that we've done, because we did the yeah boy, but it wasn't as high up. Mm-hmm. So I had PTSD when I saw that ladder. That would kill me every time. But
brutal.
No, it was fun, but again, it's water and it's heights, which of course that rope swing was all upper body strength too.
Yeah.
That was pretty intimidating.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I did it, but on TV, I'm looking at it and I'm telling my friends, oh, it was so much scarier. I promise you, it was so much scarier. It had to be 200 feet. It might have been 250 feet. I needed a parachute to get down from there. And when you're standing up there and you're looking at that rope swing or whatever, and you have to get onto the platform, it is scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like I will stand up for like Justine and Enzo, like them not doing it, because honestly, like I really did not want to do that either. It was just because I knew if I didn't do it, I'd go into elimination. I was like, I have to do this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, there's always going to be armchair quarterbacks, but that when you're there, it looks like it would be no joke.
No, literally, even when I was standing up there and I could just like fall down into the water, I was still like, I think I could die if I don't fall correctly. Like, this is really scary up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, with hindsight being 2020, looking back, Shannon, do you think you would be more secretive about your injury, or do you think you guys were just a target regardless?
I think it's both. I think we would have been a target regardless. Maybe not. Maybe would have been able to escape a limb if I didn't have an injury and I didn't announce it. But again, it's rookie mistake. I didn't know what was really appropriate to do and not to do on the challenge. I was like learning as I was playing, which was completely different than any other challenger that was in there. Also, I wasn't shouting it to the heavens for everyone to hear. I'm Italian and I scream when I talk. So I was trying to tell Derek, like, hey, it's not that I'm not pulling my weight. I'm like dangling here. My sneaker got stuck in the rope and I pulled my hammy. So like, if I take a little bit longer, like I didn't want him to think I wasn't pulling my weight, like that I got stuck on the ladder or like couldn't memorize it, you know? So I was trying to just like, you know, that, and we were like having a full blown conversation. But again, like when you're up there, you just black out. Like it's just you and your partner up there. You don't see anybody else. So yeah, I was repay, you know, oh my God, that was just like a big mistake to learn from.
Yeah,
absolutely. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those scenes like the 3 main rules: don't announce you're injured, don't say you're feeling homesick, and don't say you want to go into elimination. Right? It's like those 3.
No,
right?
Shannon said all 3 of those things.
Well, but you're a rookie, so it's forgivable.
I was hilarious. With Corrina, I didn't know how to really go about playing this game, but once I turned my attitude around in the beginning, like I definitely started being like respected more because I was respecting myself more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Shannon, it was really funny. They didn't air this, but when we first got back from the challenge, you remember like we were talking, I was sitting on the bunk bed and then you were like standing and you came out to me and you were like, yo, I don't know, man. Like my head's not in the game. Like I think I might want to go home. And I was like, Shannon, do not tell anyone you just said that. And you were like, wait, is it okay if I told the girls on the bus though? And I was like, no.
I was so scared because I had no idea what I was getting myself into and just didn't know how to really do the game at all. But now I'm a vet. Now I know if I would do things differently, I would have made it to that final. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. So I know we're running short of time, so I'm going to give you guys one final question. It's kind of like a 2-part. One was, looking back now, obviously Monday morning quarterbacking it, looking at the elimination, what would you guys do differently? And then second part, would you guys be open to doing another season of the challenge?
Man, I mean, I think we all know what we would do differently. Come on. We'd run faster, of course. No, I wouldn't have taken all those water breaks. We just stacked the tires right. You know, what else is there to say about it? You know, like we went up instead of going wide. We should have just gone wide.
Right.
And then for doing it again, like, honestly, at the start of this interview circuit at 8 a.m. today, which was 3 hours ago, I was like, in my head, no way, I'm not doing it again. But 3 hours later, you guys have worn me down, and I've talked enough about the show that all the memories got like relived. I'm like, honestly, it was fun. Like it was like a really fun experience. We had a good time. So I think with that mentality, like, yeah, I would do it again.
That's awesome.
I think that if the living conditions were different, I would maybe consider doing it again. Now that I went through a show and did everything pretty much the wrong way, I know exactly what not to do if I were to do it again. So I'm like at a maybe. It depends on the cast, depends on the living conditions. But again, with the tire thing, I'm 5'1", so we kind of had to stack them in a way where Derek stacked them tall because I couldn't reach, and then I stacked around so that I could reach them. So either way, I felt like it was the height problem as well. But
just kind of working against you from the go. Yeah, no, I understand that.
Aw.
Well, guys, I think that's about all the time we have. We want to thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And if you guys are open to it, we'll reach out and maybe do a more long form interview and talk more about your guys' experiences.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. It's great meeting all of you.
Thank you.
It's great meeting you guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
We're back.
Oh my God, the doo again.
Again.
See, now you guys can see it because the action wasn't in our round table.
That's near the conversation.
Our
right?
round cap. Our round cap.
Our round caps.
Yeah, if you haven't heard our Derek or Jordan interview where Corrina refers to our round table recaps as round caps.
Yeah.
Go
and
do
then
that.
the doodle.
I mean, most caps are round.
That is true. Fair.
That is very fair.
Guys, I'm glad with the answers we got. I wish we could have talked to them longer because I feel like we could have gotten a lot more information from them about the season, about the show. Because Shannon seemed like she wanted to say some things, but she wasn't saying some things.
Yeah, I agree.
I do commend her for the accountability of realizing she broke all 3 major rules in the challenge in her rookie year. But you know what? You break all 3, you got nothing else to learn for season 2. So
I will say this again.
Bingo.
Know thyself, okay? Like she knows exactly what she did. And not only that, but she was like, I didn't study before I came in. I did no research. I didn't train. I didn't do shit. I was not ready for this. And I love that. I love that she acknowledges it and you know, it obviously she's kind of still like teeter-tottering on whether or not she'd be willing to come back on the show, like she said. But that way, if she ever does, at least then, you know, she knows. Like we don't tell our friends about injuries in the challenge because they want that money.
Aren't our friends.
They are not our friends in the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I do understand what she's saying about she'd come back if the living situations were different. This is a very total madness-esque type of home. It's like a bunker almost.
Yeah, they call it a compound. Like it's not like, give us a mansion with a pool and you know what I mean? All of that, like, go back to those. I don't like these little like compounds and bunkers, and I don't like these either. So I don't blame her for that.
No.
And I don't think anybody does. So I don't expect it to be around. Like if they do Challenge USA season 2 or whatever, I don't really expect to see another compound based on the exit interviews that I've heard, both from the conversations that we've had through exit interviews, but also the other exit interviews I've heard, as well as just fan reaction.
Right.
Nobody seems to jive on the compounds. Adults don't really like 28 bunk beds or whatever. Like,
yeah. And the part that gets me is it's all so open in that compound. So there's really no private conversations happening unless you're outside or like, you know, something like that. It just doesn't seem like there's a room where you can go talk with somebody.
Well, and you know, in my opinion, and not even just in my opinion, because we've been told this by numerous cast members and other fans and stuff too, but like part of the experience of going on the challenge is getting to live in that big ass house and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And I know that like they still do like bunk beds in regular houses and stuff, you know what I mean? But it's different. Like this whole thing is very like jail feel to it. Like they're like jail beds. Like it's so weird.
I wouldn't be surprised if like when we watch Australia or Argentina or UK, where they do all film in Argentina, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same location for all. And that's just what they could get at that point that would house that many.
Right.
And it's something that could be easily sort of repurposed.
Right.
To put a little bit of a spin on it and still use the same location.
Right.
It would suck if that's the case, but I mean, suck for them. We really aren't impacted personally.
It's just not as fun to watch.
No, exactly. And again, like you guys said, they're almost having to find nooks and crannies everywhere in order to talk strategy. And that's why you're seeing so many conversations that take place outside the garage door.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
It's the only place that they can really go.
That you can go where things aren't going to just echo around.
Yeah, it's interesting. And kind of going, I know we asked a question about what you would do different, and it's a pretty self-explanatory answer, as Derek said, but it's one of those things that I know that they probably dwelled on since they've left, so I wanted to see if they had maybe a different idea. But with that being said, I mean, I think you do that elimination 10 more times, DX and Shannon probably win 8 of them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like they had it set up, you know, obviously I know we didn't get to go into a lot of detail with them. Timing was just really weird today. So we do apologize to you guys about that. But, you know, they were ahead. They got the 5 tire, head start. And they were like damn near done with their tires when Enzo and Justine still had like 3 or 4 tires still on their little pole things that they had to go get. And then it was just those last 2 little bumps that knocked those 2 stacks over that really took the game from DX and Shannon. But at the same time, like they killed that competition or that elimination. And they did really, from the edit, they did really well in the daily. And that was like part of why I was like kind of shocked that they were the ones thrown in. Because like it wasn't like they came in at the bottom. They were, you know, middle of the pack, maybe even top, you know, upper level of middle. So that was shocking. And, you know, like I think I said earlier, is I was really shocked that it wasn't Kayla and Leo, since they're the only 2 amazing racers left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, yeah, they do have alliances around the house, and maybe their alliances are stronger than what we're being shown in the edit. Like that's literally the only like real plausible thing I could think of, is that somebody is fighting for them, whether it was, you know, Tyson trying to pull strings for Kayla because he likes Kayla, or, you know, it's their other alliances are a lot tighter than what we're seeing. But I was really, really shocked that they weren't the ones sent down.
Agreed.
Yeah. It was definitely an interesting. Yeah.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, like, it was definitely an interesting elimination, like when they finally said their name, because it's sort of the first time that we've had 4 that it could have been easily.
Yeah.
Normally it's a blindside or it's a foregone conclusion, but it's rare that you've got, these are the 4 people the 4 teams that are in contention, and it's definitely going to be one of these 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It was a different episode, and even the elimination was different. I don't remember seeing anything like this before.
I've never seen anything like this. The closest thing I could
I like at first when they walked in, I saw the way it was lined out. I thought it was going to be, you know, the one that Tyler and Johnny and Adam and CT did, where they were going to be crossing paths, kind of like what was it, Steve and Tech did in All Stars 2.
And that's what I thought too, is they were going to have to cross each other to grab the tires on the other end and, like, you know, bring them across. But you gotta watch that, you know, the cross path there in the middle.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, but no, it was nothing like that.
Well, no, and like Sarah and I were having a conversation when TJ explained it, but he explained it so quickly that she said something, I responded, and then we looked back, and then they were getting ready to go, and we're like, cool. So hopefully this makes sense when they start running, because right now I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
Well, yeah. And I thought it was going to be something sort of along the lines of what Ashley and Priscilla did. Whereas because I saw the lines on the side of the tires. So I quickly sort of assumed that they had to line things up a certain way when they got them back to their side.
Right.
And then that was not at all the case.
No. Well, I mean, the same thing pretty much happened to us. Like Rick had, you know, just got back from the hospital last night, right as we were getting to that portion of the, poor finger.
My pointer too.
Right as we were getting to that portion, and like he had come in and he had sat down and he was like, you know, he'd stopped and grabbed something to eat. And so he's like opening up his food and stuff. And then like TJ's explaining it. And it was literally like, I looked over at him and I was like, you know, how are you feeling or whatever? And then I looked back at the screen and like the explanation was over. And I was like, oh, and I can't rewind on this because we're watching it live.
Yeah, that's what happened to us. I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry. I want to apologize to the audience. I really only caught about the last 20 minutes of the show because...
Don't worry, he'll be prepared for recap tomorrow night, and we're gonna have fun with this one because this episode was absolutely freaking insane. So make sure you guys watch out for that recap because we'll really dive into everything in there.
Agreed.
But
I think that's about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about the exit interview. I wish that we were able to have a little bit more time and get a little bit more out of DX and Shannon for you guys. Unfortunately, sometimes these short time frames just don't work well. But hopefully we can get DX and or Shannon back on and do a little bit deeper dive. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. And You've probably already heard our Jordan interview by the looks of our numbers on it.
But if you haven't,
it's there, guys, and it is phenomenal. It is wow. It is. I hate to say like any of our interviews are like my favorite or anything, but this is definitely one of my top favorites. So if you guys by chance haven't heard the Jordan one, make sure you guys go check it out. He is nothing like what they portray him on TV, and I promise you that. So,
all right, well, guys, let's wrap this up. For myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Corrina Hayes, Tony, Stats and Info Lance, and yes, that is his real middle name. You can look it up.
Birth certificate.
We want to thank you guys so much for tuning into us, this exit interview with us. And for all of us at the Challenge Fandom Podcast, we wish you guys the best and hope you're having a great day. Take care.
Bye.
Later.